Hello, welcome to another episode of Full Circle with me, Onyx. And today we're going to talk about why you don't, why you're not in the ideal relationship. And it's really actually super basic. You're not being you. It is really that simple. Um, you don't know how to just be yourself and experience your being nature, your beingness. And I feel like this is the fastest way to manifest your soulmate. This is the fastest way to acquire all the things that you want and all the things that you need. And there is no technique, there is no formula, but be yourself. And I feel like that beingness opens the door to truly access your higher self. Uh, it opens the doors to all of your psychic abilities, and it basically turns you into the superhero of your story, of your existence. Um, it clears blocks. It does a lot for you. It balances you. So we have to. So you could take some time and journal and be with yourself, you know, go on a little personal retreat. Uh, in a weird way, that's what meditation is. It's kind of a personal retreat. So if you have a hard time spending time with yourself, if you need to constantly entertain, if you're an overdoer, overachiever, a workaholic, if you have a lot of addictions, the root of that is, for some strange reason, you're afraid to be with yourself. And in a weird way, as this conversation unfolds, there probably is only one reason why you're afraid to be with yourself. Because who you actually are, you're so far off the mark. It it will be confronting a truth, and then you'll have to admit you're not in integrity. You're not in alignment with your true nature. You've sold out. You've sold out to other people's beliefs. You've done many activities that weren't true to you. So you've been hurting yourself. You've been debilitating yourself. You've been being stubborn and refusing to be stand up for yourself, be honest. And instead, you sold out to friend groups, you sold out to life coaches, you sold out to therapists and healers, you've sold yourself to parents and all those expectations. You've been insistent. Uh, and so there's doing and being, or non doing. And so the wisdom, if it's true, it's going to kind of be universal. It's going to apply to all cultures, all races, all circumstances, in all times. And it becomes universal. And so Taoist wisdom is honoring being, your beingness, being natural in the world, in nature, in life, and in death. So when you're being natural, even in the realm of nature, we honor the seasons, the cycles, the rhythms, the timing. So, menstruation cycles, lunar cycles, uh, uh, the age of growing up. We have different stages in life and different cycles. And when you're being egotistical, full of the false self, when you have uh, when you have it in your head that you have something to prove, I'm woman enough, I'm man enough, I'm ageless, I'm timeless. When you fight nature instead of accepting it, you start finding out that some of your objectives aren't in alignment with reality. And so you're getting a hard reality check and you're fighting it and you're screaming and you're blaming God, which is a really weird phenomenon. People who don't know God think they have a right to speak to God and then think they have a right to have an attitude. And I would say that's probably one of the worst things you could do. Uh, but it kind of says something about our culture where we have this false sense of entitlement, you know, and we twist everything around. It's like, you know, you scream and yell at a stranger and you say, "Oh, that's a stranger. I don't know them." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't. So you really have no right to treat them unladylike and ungentlemanlike. You have no right to disrespect something you do not know." But it's so hardwired in our culture that we disrespect and disregard, put down, shame, steamroll, plow over things we do not know, things we do not understand, and those same things we don't respect. So we really don't respect nature. We don't respect other life forms. We don't respect each other. So is it really uh is it really a gymnastics feat, a mental gymnastics feat to understand how your own culture teaches you to disrespect yourself and seek that respect in backwards ways of overdoing, being too happy, love bombing people, being obsessive, being controlling, clingy, needy, and making someone else the center of your world, making someone the center of your story for you. So, falling back onto your center brings you in touch with your own sense of inner being. And when you have fallen back onto your center, you naturally realign, and that alignment automatically aligns you with your divine self. You, when you become aware, it's like putting yourself back in the driver's seat, kind of. It's at least getting you back in the car because you've been reaching, the windows were rolled down and you were reaching for that guy or that gal across the street in your little vehicle, and how dangerous that is. There's signposts you could run into, there's trees, there's branches, there's bikers. You're going down this road in this little car. Of course, it's going to be a funny, clunky clown car, you know, because you're not really in control and you haven't been in control of your life for a very long time. And so these intense moments of a breakup, loss of a relationship, you not getting what you want, you feeling extreme disappointment, setback, failure, shame, grief, loss, these are huge red flags that you're way out of balance. But we don't really have a lot of people saying that. We're going to life coach you. We're going to build up your faith. We're going to spiritualize you. And no one is saying, no one's giving you that sobering reality check. Of course, you're not attractive anymore. You're past your prime. So you now have to use a different set. Nature has designed something different for you. You can't use sexuality the way you did when you were younger, or you're younger. You can't have this other soulful spiritual relationship in the same way because you're physically designed to reproduce for the collective. And so the drivers, these motives, instinctually in the natural plane are different. So there's stages and states. You can be at a high state, but at a very low stage in your personal development. A low stage or act in the movie of your life. So a lot of people are trying to rearrange the acts. They're like, I want to just skip to the end and live in happily ever after in bliss. I want to just be at soulmate level where we're in sync, mind, body, and soul. And I want to be, and it's like, well, that doesn't come until Act 3, and you're only in Act 1. So, timing, rhythm, following the seasons. And so, look at your beliefs, look at these ideals, look at how you fantasize and romanced your relationships and other people. Look at how you expect them to fulfill your needs, which is building your life around someone else or making them the center of your world. You know, when you have these desires to consume someone else, clingy and needy, that means you're trying to fill the void inside yourself with someone else. But really, how to fill that void is with yourself. And internally, that's returning to your center, dropping in and letting your being nature, letting the totality of yourself get back in the car. Hey, all you parts and pieces of me that I have been giving out to friends, family, job, coworkers to win big in life. I need you all to get back in the car. You know, the car is really light. There's a strong wind and ice on the road. We don't have enough weight to keep us driving straight. Get back in the car, every one of us, all of us. Bring us all back together. So, now we get to talk about mental dis-ease. A lot of people, so people are going to, we live in a service-oriented economy. You know, you either have services or you have resources. And it's through services that we distribute those resources, and it's through, so basically, yeah, we basically live in a service-oriented society. So there are people who want to capitalize on serving you with all your so-called mental and emotional problems. They're capitalizing on your martyrdom. They're capitalizing on your victim story. And they're all there to serve you. But it's very possible you can serve yourself. It's very possible you don't need more serving in those directions. Especially if you're an overthinker, then I'm saying these good intending services may actually harm you because you'll just think more, you'll just process more, and pretty soon your life will become a therapy act. And when will you honor yourself? When will you come to realize that the true practice of therapy was to help you get in touch with yourself? Your therapist was supposed to be a mirror, a detached, non-biased mirror, and they were to help you ask questions that would force you to look at yourself deep inside. How do you feel? How do you think? Why do you think this is going on in your life? This was the hallmark of therapy. Now, that's not so. Now it's different. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? So we can skip to the end of therapy and you can shake your therapist's hands and saying, thank you. I've now learned to ask myself these questions. Thank you. I found my inner therapist. I have found my inner healer. I have found my inner doctor. I have found the one that is me. And so if this process is not going on in your therapy, I would probably get a different therapist. Or now that you know the aim of therapy, I might want to start looking in the mirror, journaling, going on walks in nature by myself, all these things that will get me back in touch with me. So you're reconnecting fragmented parts and pieces. The new word of fragmentation, or split personalities, is disassociation. Yes, we know we've all gone through trauma. You don't have to own it anymore. You can let it go. And you can reassemble yourself. How do we do that? By focusing on the problem or focusing on the solution. So here's the 180 that kind of has to happen. In order for any therapy to ever work or be effective, there has to be a fundamental belief that you are curable, you are healed, you have the ability to heal, and you have the ability to say thank you for all the pain, suffering, and misfortune I've gone through, for it has built me up and made me stronger. It was a tool to help me realize I am not my circumstances. I am not what happens to me. I'm the hero of my own story. Hence, the whole point of Carl Jung's archetypes in the heroic journey, this universal truth is what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So if you didn't die from it, you're already greater than that. So you could have some epiphanies and self-realizations, but overthinking, so you can get over involved. So this is the doing aspect. Doing is great, but if it's not paired with your being nature, your authentic self, what you do is hindrance. What you do becomes not helpful. It becomes harmful. So overthinking, like if you keep, so there is no such thing as, like, okay, we have this ideal version of what our healed self maybe looks like or what our total being is. That was a concept we generated in our head. And so idealism leads to corruption. Idealism leads to the tower moment in the tarot deck. In fact, I need to write that one down, because really that's what the tarot deck should be. Idealism. So, Icarus and his wings. In a weird way, that's a story about pride. It's assuming you are more than you are. And it's taking risky measures. It's taking risks that you shouldn't. But you're gonna do it anyways, And so you'll always get that warning signal. Should I text this person? Should I keep going? Should I love bomb them? Should I let them know they're remembered and loved? Should I keep operating out of lack? Should I keep operating out of my void? Should I keep externally validating? Should I explain myself? Should I over apologize for my being? You're going to get that weird sensation in your body. You're going to get those weird feelings. You're going to second guess yourself. That means you're falling off your center. That means you're not in your being nature. That means you have done what society has taught you, which is to discount yourself and enable you. The true word of enable is to make you not able, basically bind you, disempower you. So if you choose to override that, uh, and be an overdoer, thinking that you just need to invest more, you need to care more, you need to love more, you need to show them how great you are, you're ruining it. And then, so like the pendulum swings both ways. After all that giving, the other part of the pendulum, because you've now created such a void, is you should be investing into me. I'm not getting what I expected from you. And then all the negative feelings. And so you're playing with extreme emotional moods, thought patterns. The pendulum is rapidly swinging intensely. And we think, ooh, intensity, it must mean real feelings. It must mean this is real. And so we get into like an obsession, we get into fixation. And we are so far from what love is. We are so far from what boundaries are. Remember boundaries? Uh, we don't give them what they need. They need the same thing that you need. They need an opportunity to be with themselves, to be present with themselves, to live in the moment, to follow their true nature. You're not following your true nature. You've got swept away in Dolores Cannon's craziness of soulmates and twin flames. You got swept away with card readers, karmics, false lovers, tests, challenges, obstacles, and then your real lover. You got swept away in not minding your own business and over concerning yourself about how someone else feels and thinks. Of course, to get that validation, you know? And so the pendulum is now swinging all crazy directions, but they're very intense, far out, swift. And so sometimes we get caught up in the energy of the mood swing, and it's kind of a false stimulation. And I see this all over the place. People, reason why people get so passionately into war, into fighting, it's very stimulating, and we get addicted to those chemicals, and that rewires your brain. And so you're altering your brain chemistry, you're altering your physiology. You are, not the other person. The other person, so you're in your fish tank, you're in your experience, and it's a very intense world. And you just want to share all this passion, share all this love, and make all your dreams come true. You know, but that's not what the other person is seeing. The other person is seeing a crazy. The other person is going, what's wrong with this person? Or I really like them, but why are they doing that? It's so confusing. And I don't need all this attention. So you drive them away by all your overdoing, by your overexcitement. You're an overstimulating personality. You're too open. And so all the self-help gurus out there are kind of telling you the same thing, but maybe this is the way you need to hear it to understand how you've now become more of a character, and your gestures are wild and swinging. But you don't know that. You're just really trying to win that approval. And you're just really excited of the possibility that, and so you're getting excited about being excited. You're falling in love with falling in love. And the reality is, you don't really see the person, you don't really understand them, you don't know them. And so they're looking at you as someone who's like a space invader. They're looking at you as you're unpredictable, you're not, so it's not spontaneous, it's unpredictable, it's not exciting, it's scary. Um, it's not connecting, it's suffocating. So, but in your world, you're seeing it the other way. So we need the reality check. We need to pause. We need to process, slow down, and enjoy the ride. Chill out. And it's and obviously not blame it on, don't drag your history into it, don't therapize it, don't make it about you, don't make it about them, you don't need to judge it, you don't need to label it. So you don't need to make it political, socially correct. But what you do need to do is just get back in your body, get back in your space car, get all your parts and pieces there, be with yourself. So the one real relationship, so this is like the cherry on top, okay, of the ice cream sundae or whatever it is that you're gonna, this is the thing, the star on the Christmas tree that makes it all work. The real relationship for soulmates is to first be in touch with your own soul/higher self, your totality of your being. Your whole life, probably since you were even in the womb, people had an expectation for you. Is it going to be a boy? Is it going to be a girl? Are they going to be talented? I want them to play the piano. I want to raise them this way so they're not like my parents, or they didn't have to go through the childhood I wanted. And people are trying to make decisions for you, and you're in the womb. You're like going, oh my gosh, do I even want to be birthed to these people? Or yes, I would, but you might already be trying to please your mom. She really wants a girl, but you're a boy. Your dad, oh, I really love him, I want to connect with him, but actually I'm supposed to be a girl and not a boy, and he wants a boy. What do I do? And so, just a theory here, uh, one reason why there might be some gender identity issues is because it's within the womb decisions. You are already being compromised. You're already being faced with the challenge. Who do I be to please? I love so much, I wish to please. One of these people, both these people, what do you do when you can't win? When you can't reach a compromise? You might sell out and go, okay, I'll look like a boy to please my dad, even though I'm a girl, so you could have this split identity thing going on, even in the womb. So who cares? Here you are now. The whole point of that little tangent was our society teaches you to compromise yourself, be something else. What do you think the whole education system is? To be something that society needs, not what you need, not what you want. And so realize it's kind of built into the structure. And so it can be you might think you're being yourself and you're not. So the check within yourself day to day, moment to moment. Be with yourself. And the best relationship is going to be with you. Everyone else comes and goes. All these failures and disappointments with other people, the frustrations, that's kind of the lesson showing you can't really control people. You can't make them stay. Death happens at any moment. Reality check. But the only constant in your life is you. So no more self-abandonment. Deepen this relationship, because the reason why your relationships haven't worked out to this point is because you haven't formed a deep enough relationship with yourself. When you are in that deep relationship with yourself, your energy starts sending a signal out to everybody else. You show up as a bright glowing light, and you actually attract without doing anything. This is why the best way to get stuff is don't do anything. But it wasn't a do nothing. It was be yourself. So it's a different kind of doing. I'm going to do me by being me. I'm going to do what feels right. I'm going to be my authentic self, which kind of means being transparent, being honest, having integrity. You're not falling into the validation trap of people pleasing or having others please you. Like, you don't need to play the pleaser games. The disappointment is actually the pleaser game. It's the reverse. It's, I'm disappointed you're not pleasing me. Therefore, I feel unloved and disrespected and whatever it is. So it's the same act, just in reverse. And the reality of it is, because we're running out of time, the more you're your authentic self, the more you'll attract someone who will like those qualities about your being nature. And then there's no compromise in the relationship. So you then actually attract the right partner because they are totally authentically attracted to your truth, to the essence of your vibration, to your soul, whatever word you want. And then it's a harmonious relationship. It flows. It's easy. And it's a process of shedding ego. So this is another reason. It's kind of the same thing, but seen at a different perspective and level. When you are actually going to be with the right person, all the baggage needs to be thrown out of the vehicle, probably into a recycle bin. You need to dump it off at the Goodwill, at the secondhand thrift store. Getting rid of the baggage is part of the coming together process. So there's a transformation of shedding all that you are not to be all that you already are. It looks like expansion, but really it's just a clearing. You're energetically clearing. You're waking up to your truth. So it feels like a spiritual journey. It feels like, and so don't get stuck with signs and symbols and synchronicities. That's really taking away from your own inner beingness. Last but not least is you're probably not fulfilling your purpose in life, because if you're truly your authentic self, you'd be doing what is authentically correct for you in all areas of your life. And your partner will be doing the same thing. So probably you're the one who isn't really there yet. Practice being, check in with yourself. Quit therapizing your life. Quit looking for a technique to make it all work. Quit blaming others. Get out of victim and martyr mode. Get out of overthinking and analyzer mode. All those things won't help you, because it's about frequency. You need to broadcast your truth.